Welcome to Formula One Sports. Before we begin, make sure to subscribe to support the channel and stay updated on all the news in the world of Formula One. Let's start the video. Verstappen makes it clear to Red Bull and points out the culprit. The dominance Red Bull had at the beginning of the Formula One World Championship has evaporated, and now both Ferrari and McLaren seem to be on par with the Austrians, with Jos Verstappen being the most critical of the situation, not hesitating to issue a series of warnings. Formula One has changed in recent weeks, as when the championship started, it seemed a chimera to think of anything other than a Max Verstappen military parade, akin to what he did in 2023. Last season, it was even more than common for Checo Pérez to lag behind him. Their dominance was such that the only victory of the campaign that ended up in the hands of a driver other than those from Red Bull was in Singapore in an exhibition by Carlos Sainz. But that was in 2023, and now, in this first third of 2024, after 8 races, the superiority has evaporated, and we are facing the most competitive title race since 2021. The 3-time champion still leads the championship with authority, holding on to his strong start, where he only lost the victory in Australia after a retirement, but everything has changed since the Miami Grand Prix. McLaren's famous upgrades made a statement, and since then they've been in the mix. Norris triumphed in Miami Gardens, and Max won in Imola, but if the race had lasted a little longer, the Briton would have repeated. And in Monaco, Ferrari. Charles Leclerc was a prophet in his own land, but it was a very bad day for the Dutchman, and even worse for his garage mate. Hesseltall's Saturday was disastrous, finishing 6th, and he couldn't fix it on Sunday. In fact, during the race, he criticized the car extensively. The car bounces like a kangaroo, and that's the problem. And then added that it seemed like a cart running without suspension. It doesn't absorb the bumps on the curbs. Frustration, coupled with the changes the Austrians are going through, leads to the belief that anything can happen in their future. His father, even more critical, Jos Verstappen, went further than his son, emphasizing that the era when Red Bull had the dominant car seems to have ended, and urging the top brass to focus more on what matters. They should refocus a bit more on racing and mutual communication rather than other things. He then explained the obvious, that there will be races where Red Bull will be back in good shape, but he's very curious to see how they will solve this string of issues, although he's clear that something has to happen. Red Bull needs to figure out where this problem is coming from, because it's clear that teams like Ferrari and McLaren are closing in. He also didn't forget about his son's teammate, whose performance isn't helping either. Max has still been able to mask it a bit, but the big difference with Checo Pérez is becoming more and more obvious. Since the start of the 2024 Formula One Championship, the scene has been one of constant change and surprise. What seemed to be Red Bull's absolute dominance, with Max Verstappen leading the way, has quickly faded. Teams like Ferrari and McLaren have emerged as serious threats, challenging the supremacy that Red Bull had held in previous seasons. The recent races have witnessed a change of fortune for Red Bull. Despite a promising start with wins in Melbourne and Imola, McLaren's notable improvements in Miami and Ferrari's dominance in Monaco have made it clear that the competition is fiercer than ever. Technical issues, evidenced by Verstappen's complaints about the car's handling and the lack of performance from his teammate Sergio Perez, have contributed to the uncertainty within the Austrian team. The criticisms from Jos Verstappen, Max's father, highlight the need for a change in focus at Red Bull. He urges the team to concentrate on racing and improving internal communication, suggesting that the time of having the dominant car has come to an end. While Red Bull may find their rhythm in some future races, the increasing challenge from rival teams like Ferrari and McLaren raises questions about the immediate future of the team. In summary, the 2024 Formula One season is full of intrigue and excitement, with a more level playing field than ever before. As teams vie for supremacy on the track, it remains to be seen how Red Bull will respond to this new challenge, and if they can regain their dominant position in the sport. Thank you for watching the video. If you've made it this far, don't forget to subscribe and leave a positive comment. See you in the next one.